In this video, I'm going to show you guys how I went about turning this area of my yard from somewhat even ground into a nice stone pad for my shed. When deciding what size of a shed I wanted, I started to lay items out and measure different items that I would store in there to get an idea of what would fit. It is important to remember that just because the items fit top down inside the shed structure doesn't mean that they will fit when trying to position them inside. It is important to go out and look at different designs and different sizes of sheds to come up with something that will fit your needs. I originally thought that I would build a shed like this myself, but after visiting a couple Amish companies, I quickly decided that it was not worth my time, and the cost was fairly similar between building it myself and just purchasing something that I wanted. After I figured out the design I wanted, I determined where in my yard I wanted to place the shed. It is important to check with your local township for setbacks and variances. I spent about $60 and was approved within a few days in my local township. I had my property surveyed to aid in the placement and understanding my lot lines. The first thing that I did was I started to lay out a string line and mark the ground with spray paint. After doing that, I used my tractor to skim off the top layer of grass. Next was to establish elevation and measure out how far down I had to dig to obtain the finished grade height that I wanted. My yard had about a 6 to 7 inch grade difference from front to back. Side to side was fairly level, which I chose to do 3 courses primarily of 4x6s, and in the front 2 courses. I added approximately 2 to 3 inches of stone underneath the boards to help with water drainage, as well as 4-foot sections of rebar spaced about every 4 to 6 foot on the perimeter boards. To help install the rebar, I ended up making an attachment for my air hammer. This helped as the ground was not too rocky and it was able to be hammered in slightly easy. After completing the wood foundation, I ordered approximately 15 tons of clean number 57 or 2B stone. My wife and I spent a few hours moving the stone back to the pad with a hand cart and my tractor. At this point, the shed base was coming together. I decided to leave the rock a little bit shy of the boards so that the shed didn't sit so tall. After a few weeks, my shed was finally ready to be delivered. They brought it in on this buggy and placed it right on the stone pad. I told them to leave it centered. After placing the shed, it was now time to think about how I wanted to make my wooden ramps. I ended up using pressure-treated 2x6s. Overall, I'm fairly happy with the shed and how it turned out. I ended up opting for a LuxGuard fuller system to help prevent weathering in the future. I also decided to go with a custom color to help match the house with an upgraded garage door. The shed fits all of my items very nice with plenty of room, and I think it looks very nice in the yard. I spent about $11,300 on the shed with some basic upgrades. Again, this is a 14 by 24. I have about $500 in stone with an approximate $700 in lumber. I hope this video helps you think about your future shed plans.